cylinders. My dad's gonna show us how to do that.
You can see how the cylinders are really shiny. They're glazed. I'm gonna ring and bearing this and put new rings in it. We have to break this where the rings will seat.
Okay.
And if you don't, it'll burn oil and it'll never seal.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use just the sun and engine hone, and we're gonna re-hone the cylinders. What honing does is it puts marks on it, scratches, so that oil, it'll retain oil.
Oh, okay.
And that way, if you leave it shiny like this, it'll run, it'll wipe the oil off, you'll smoke the motor. I'll do the first one and then you can do the next one. Squirt that good. What you do is set your hone. A lot of people don't have this type of hone because they're expensive.
Right.
They use most of the time a dingleberry. What they call. And it's what they are. They're
Yeah.
just a bunch of balls that are stones.
Okay.
And then they go in and the tension is set by them. I'm setting the tension on the stones with that.
Okay.
And all you do is get it where it drags the motor down.
Okay.
You don't want to smoke the motor, but then you, a little bit too much. And then you don't want to go, you can hear it touching.
Yeah.
And then just go a little bit more. That's about perfect for drag. And the stroke is what gives you the crosshatch.
Oh, okay.
Because if you sat there and just did it without stroking, it would just make scratches. I'm gonna wipe it out and see if you want to go a little more. Got some light scratching there. We'll do this one a little more to get rid of that.
Okay.
You can see the nice crosshatch.
Yeah.
They're doing that, and it's glazed up. Oh, see what I'm saying?
That's really easy to do.
Yeah, that's why I told you it's not as easy as you think.
No.
No, you're not stroking enough. In more. There you go. Out a little more. Right there. Okay, that's good. And then stop. Don't drag, or you
Don't
put
drag.
drag marks.
Okay.
Want me to do the next one? Yeah.
Now, since I was going too slow, what would it do?
You can put taper in the bore.
It is legit nerve wracking.
Oh, I know it is. That's why I told you. I've done it. Now remember, all the machines and stuff I built and honed, I know how to hone.
Okay.
It looks easy when you watch it on TV. It's
It
not.
does. Even just watching you do it. But it's like anything, you know.
Yeah, it's practice.
Yeah, when someone's good at it, it looks easy. But it's not.
I've been doing this since I was 17 years old. Go. Deeper. There you go. You gotta make full stroke. That's perfect right there. Okay, stop. Like I said, it doesn't take a lot. Yeah, it has a good stroke and it looks good. Perfect. Little bit, there you go, right there. In and out. Let me give you just a touch more. You got a nice stroke on that.
Get some juice on her.
Well, that's what keeps the stone from loading. Ready? Yep. Good.
There's.
Now you can see you've honed the motor.
Yeah, that's a.
It's
a little more difficult than it looks.
Now what we're going to do is because we're putting new rings in this engine. After we honed it, we want to check ring gap, which is important because if it's too tight, they will score and lock up the bore. If they're too big, you won't get no compression. And what I did is I just took one of the pistons, took one of the old rings, and put it in the oil groove to make it where you can get the ring straight in the bore. And what you do here is you install one of this is the top ring, start it in the bore, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take this, and that centers your ring in the bore.
Oh, awesome.
And then all you do is you find your feeler gauge, and according to the book, they say anywhere from 15 to 30,000. 15. So that one's good. That's at 15, which is at what it's supposed to. Then we'll check our next ring gap. And then you don't have to use a depth mic or anything to do this. The piston straightens your ring. in the bore. Take your feeler gauge, and that's 15. Let's go to 16. That's 16. 16 and 15.
Is that pretty tight?
Yeah,
That's
that's true 16. So we know the gaps are at 16 on the low side, but they
Okay.
don't need to be ground.
Okay.
The most critical part of installing these cam bearings is if you look at the grooves, the holes in the cam bearings have to line up with the holes in the engine block.
Which you can't see, but there's a hole there.
Yes. Okay, Carrie, come here. Grab that hammer.
Oh, I love this hammer.
Okay, give that, just tap
A
it
little
easy.
tappy?
Yep. Tap, tap.
Little tip happy.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep tapping. Keep going. Keep going. Get close. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, stop. On normal engines, you can get your hand in between the cylinder and where the cam bearings go. In this engine, you can't. There's no way to get your fingers in there to line up the cam bearings. You can see there's no access to the cam bearings. So they all have to go through the front.
Yeah.
And they're stepped sizes. So this engine was more difficult than most.
Yeah.
Why do you guys use your middle finger for everything you do? Your dad does it too.
What's that?
Because it's long.
It's
and,
long.
and
The
it's,
longest.
and it's strong.
Hey, don't point that thing at me.
Well, it's strong too, you know.
Is it a strong finger?
Oh yeah.
No, no.
And always pre-lube your cam. I used engine lube to pre-lube it. And rubbed it on all the journals and then on the bearing surfaces. Gotta be careful so you don't mar your cam bearings as you're putting it in.
And what does mar mean for the
It puts a big
people like
dent
me?
in them.
Okay.
And then that's the place for the oil to
Oh,
escape.
to escape.
And then you don't have your
Yeah, we don't want that.
whatchamacallit. That's done.
Okay.
Ta-da!
now-
As Axel would say.
Where the bearings go is nice and clean and dry
Okay.
before you install the inserts. See this little tab?
Mm-hmm.
That goes in this lock.
Okay.
And the best way to start them is put them in like that.
Right at the
and then
tab.
just push the other side in with your thumb.
Okay.
And then go down all the way and do the same thing. Yeah, start that one there and then hold it with that thumb.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Stop it with your finger. And make it sure it's all the way down. And that the tabs, are in the center. There you go. That's a thrust bearing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why is this one so much bigger?
It's because that's what stops the crankshaft from going back and forth in the crank. There's a bearing surface here and here for in and out thrust.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, in and out thrusts.
That's what it is. For if it's a clutch when you push, that's
Yeah.
what it pushes the crank into that bearing. It keeps the crankshaft in the center.
Nice and even.
I think so.
You look good. We're going to check the clearances on the bearings with plastic gauge. So go ahead and grab the crankshaft. Be careful that you don't pinch your finger.
I'm guessing that's this big, huge thing.
You
Right?
grab here and put your one finger in there
Okay.
if you can carry it that way.
No, I can't carry it with my finger.
Okay. Because you're going to have to get in there.
Is this is going the right way?
Yes. Okay, here. You take the front.
It's heavy.
Okay, we can't bump this thrust bearing. It's very important that we came in nice and straight. Come down with your end.
My hand down.
Okay, that's good there. What we want to do is get it where we can put the plastic gauge on top on all 4 spots.
What is plastic gauge?
It's wax based, made by Seal Power.
And why do you use the plastic gauge?
To check the clearance on the bearings, and you're going to put a piece on top, straight across.
Okay.
Do it on all 4 bearings.
This is really hard with these big old
Yeah, no,
hunky gloves on.
you take them off.
There you go.
When you torque bolts, you got to oil your threads. We're not doing it on the crankshaft yet. Okay.
We're putting them on to take them off.
We're going to check the plastic gauge. You got to set the torque to see exactly the clearance on the bearing. This one.
Oh,
This one. Yep. And what you do is you lay this up here and you find the one that it fits. It's not
Okay.
it's not too
looks like the middle one.
it's 1.5 thousandths.
1.5 thousand.
That's 1.5, that's perfect on the crank. You know, and if you just check them, see, it is exactly 1.5 thousandths.
Oh, nice.
And that tells you that's the clearance on your bearings to the crank.
Yeah, oil goes in between the bearing.
The bearing
So
really
you're making sure that the oil can get through
in
to
between,
do what
because
it
when
needs
the
to do.
oil pressure's in it, the crankshaft is basically floating on oil. It's not running on the bearings.
Oh, okay.
The oil pressure
Well, that's
holds it in.
correct.
To install the 3rd ring first, the oil ring, just to get it out of the way. It's 3 pieces. There's 2 of these and one of those. And you put this one on first. Bottom groove. And remember, this is where you start it. And you take your next one and you want it away from where that split was.
Why do you do that?
Because you don't want them to line up where it can hop
Okay.
over. You'll see when it's all together.
And then one goes on top of them.
Yep, and then you go, you know,
away.
yeah, the opposite place. And you do that. And then if it's together proper, it looks like that. See, it's a square ring. A lot of rings have a bevel inside or a bevel on the bottom.
For what?
But
Just
it's for the compression hits it and pushes it out.
okay.
So same thing, this is your chrome. And then like I said, they make an installer, but I can do it just as quick by hand. That one's complete. Well,
Okay, and then what am I gonna
you're
do?
gonna tap it in. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Don't stop now.
Oh my gosh.
I ain't working with you no more.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, it's my finger.
You said keep tapping. Don't stop.
Yeah.
Am I in?
Yeah, that's how.
Keep tapping. Don't stop. Boom. I'm not working with you.
No, I'm not. I can do this by myself if I want to smash my fingers.
Well, when I get the tap and get the fingers out.
You want the rod into the crank?
No, God no.
Then what do you want to do?
My fingers gonna get smashed.
Because I know when to stop hitting.
I stopped at the perfect time. Look at that.
The heck you did.
Look at that. That is beautiful.
Look at the tip of my finger where it went up against the crankshaft.
that one.
Yeah. Now push it in.
That's your
Cannot
loving
push it with
son.
mine.
You can push it or tap it in. I got the rubbers on it now.
This is gonna go down as a debate for years to come.
What's that? That you smashed my finger?
Yep.
Oh,
Because I don't think I.
let's see the hammer and your finger on the block, and we'll debate
Well,
how.
see, when you were pushing it in, I was using my fingertips like this, so I'm just holding the rubbers.
I stopped as soon as that piston comes out. I stopped because I don't want the rod to hit the crankshaft.
Ah.
Like I said, I've done it, and I know when.
He knows when to stop, but he doesn't know when you're gonna stop.
That's how I got 2 fat fingers from trusting someone with my hand.
Can't trust your own son. then.
I
You can
can't trust nobody. It hurts.
Well,
Well,
with that being said,
let's get this done.
that and it did not hurt me.
It didn't, yeah, you didn't feel it. Effing thing. Push, and then you can tap it with a, make sure it's seated with that. Yeah.
Now, did your finger get smashed?
No, I didn't have them anywhere near you could. I had them way out here.
You learned, I learned.
Yeah, I learned that you suck. Like I said, I learned that my son needs to get smacked.
I do not. You can tell when it goes in because you hit it and it goes pop.
Mhm.
Makes that little sound. I was told the reason why it matters, you know, like numbers have to match, because when these are casted, they break them off.
That's on newer rods.
Oh, and that's why they have to go together.
No, these are ground, and this is an old engine.
Okay, so
Those are snap rods.
and they don't do that on
No,
these.
and then they only line up one way.
Yeah.
Because that's what they mark them with like an etcher,
Mm-hmm.
and then they pop them and they crack.
Yeah.
And yeah, that does matter. But what these are, when these are made, these were ground and then put together and then honed.
Okay. All right, we're gonna finish getting these pistons in. There's 2 more to go, and we'll be back. We'll give Dad his own spot. No motor mates.
Yay, he feels so privileged and happy.
Pull it.
Pull the pin.
Boom.
Oh,
Run.
is it gonna
Yeah.
blow up?
It's gonna blow. Boy, that was not
You guys
great.
really built up.
That wasn't climactic,
Yeah, was not cool at
All right,
all.
well, that's a bottom end. Or
That's
that's
a complete. No.
yeah.
There's
that's-
another bottom end.
There you go, Dan.
Okay, that's a short block.
And that's a short block.